as time goes on, like you sort of get used to it, but you never forget it.
No.
It's always there.
We had 5 altogether.
Yeah.
1 girl and 4 boys.
He was a real joker.
He drew a mustache. He drew a mustache on the picture. And I wasn't allowed to show it to anybody, but I erased the mustache off, and he didn't do a very good job of it. Well, he liked school until he got sick. You know, and that was in grade 10. But before that, he loved going to school. He loved playing hockey. And the year that he did get sick, we didn't know he was sick. And he wouldn't go to the rink anymore. He said it was too cold. And the teachers couldn't understand why, because, you know, he loved playing hockey.
Well, he used to work down at the gas station down in Lange's, pumping gas.
Yeah.
And he used to be tired all the time. And you see him walking down the hill to go to work, you knew he was tired even before he got to work. So he's like, he'd be in August, say, and it'd be a hot summer's day, and he'd be in the house, turning the heat up, because he was cold. And he used to lay around the Chesterfield all the time, and he was always cold. That was his blood affecting him. I said, you gotta go down and see the doctor. So he went down to the foot of the hill and saw the doctor and sent him over to Halifax Infirmary. So he passed out one day, didn't he? A new foreman on the ship, a sick man home.
Yeah.
I had to take him over to Halifax Infirmary. So they took him over there, and I went down to the hospital, and when they took him in and did some tests on him, a couple of the young doctors came out, and I heard them talking, and they said the kid we just bought, he's got leukemia. You know, I knew before everybody else really. So anyway, they told him 5 days later that he had leukemia.
But he had already known, because the man in the bed next to him told him that's what he had, but he didn't believe him.
Well, this guy was, he operated a service station down in Yarmouth, and he had it for 15 years. And he used to come up to Halifax for treatments, drive his own car up, go into the hospital for 3 or 4 days treatments, and then get in his car and go back to Yarmouth. So while he was here, he used to stay in the room with Chris. And during the nighttime, they used to talk about leukemia. So Dave told me, he said, don't ever lie to him. He said, he knows all about leukemia. But he said, we talk about it all the time in the night. So he said, what he asked, you know, give him an honest answer, because he said he's well up on it, more so than anybody else. He lost all his hair.
Well, he was diagnosed in September, and he didn't get out of the hospital anymore until December. He came home Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and then he had to go back in. And then he went back in and stayed until February, and then they let him out, told him he was in remission. And he come home, and he went back in July, and he had another bone marrow done. And he come home from the hospital, and he said, how did he put it now? I'm out of remission. And I was some shock, because I knew then, you know, cancer had come back.
As soon as you accept it, that's half the battle right there.
Well, he said he accepted it, but I don't know how much.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Because that night he told me, he said, we were just talking, you know, about cars and everything. No, Dad, he said, I don't mind dying now. He said, I did, he said, one time, but he said, I don't mind it now. And Dr. Ying said, you know, he said that they're reconciled to the fact that you only got a certain time here, and that's the way they accept it. And he certainly did, and he knew it, you know. But he always wanted a car. So when he got sick, we bought him a car, a Chevy Nova. And he adored that car. He cleaned it up and he waxed it every day. And oh God. So anyway, every time we go over to the hospital, he said, Dad, how's the car? Take it out for a spin today? Because he said, keep it in good shape because when I get out of here, you won't mind when I go to Newfoundland for a visit. That never happened. He died around 12 o'clock. And Stephen, I think, took it first. Stephen was up in the hallway and just banging on the walls. And I had to grab his arms because he was going for his fist to the walls. I think Stephen took it the hardest. This is my story. It all started when I began to get tired and cold all the time. I would get bruises on my arms and legs very easily. This went on for a month and I decided to see a doctor. I did, and he sent me for tests. These consisted of bone marrow and blood samples. At the time I didn't know of my sickness, but my father and mother did. I was told 5 days later. The doctor told me I would have to stay a while because I had acute leukemia. I was shocked but didn't show it. But I thought to myself, maybe someday they will have a cure for it. But if not, someone has to have it, this disease, and it was me. I don't expect to live a very extended life like my brothers and sisters. But if life is like this on earth, can you imagine the thrill of being in heaven? I would like to thank everyone personally, but I will be dead before I get around to all of them. I think now my family has adjusted to the situation. I know I have. It doesn't really bug me that much that I have it. It's no different than getting killed in a car or shot in the head. When the time comes, I will get sick and fade away like my blue jeans. I can't wait to be out again, but it will be nice to come back again to see and talk to the wonderful people here. And have a rest. It says to be continued tomorrow. Now, we never found any more continuation to the story, so we don't know if he wrote any more or not. He probably did and just put it in the garbage. But this is the one we're lucky enough to find.
Even yet, when there's something going on like Christmas or when I have them all here, you know, I think of them, well, Chris would probably be here with his grandchildren. And, you know, times like that, it's sad. He believed he was going to heaven, and if he had faith, believe in God, that helps serve the Lord.